Hey, Logan, well, many people will be lacing up for the Endometriosis Awareness Walk taking place at Liberty Station tomorrow. Here to tell us more is the host of the walk, Ratelle, the CEO of Raise Your Vibe. Rachel, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me on.
Of course, this is very personal for you.
Yes.
You are hosting this walk tomorrow. It's your first event with your business, so tell us about it.
It is. I'm really excited about the event. My business itself came about because I had been struggling with endometriosis, but I had been sick for about 8 years and didn't know what was going on. I officially got my diagnosis a little over a year ago through a laparoscopic excision surgery.
You were telling me you were 23 years old. So what were some of the symptoms? Because they're so vague. They say bloating, nausea, just things that you get when you're on your period.
Right, things that, you know, women are kind of written off for having just every day. So endo ranges per case, you know, and per individual, but for me it's been a lot of painful period cramps, painful ovulation, painful GI issues, and, you know, bloating, nausea, and also full body fatigue, which is, you know, like you were saying, kind of overlaps with other conditions, making it more difficult to be diagnosed.
Yeah, we had an OBGYN on last week from Sharp, and she was talking about there is no cure for endometriosis, and she was talking about the function of the uterus. It plays a critical role when it comes to menstruation, fertility, and pregnancy. So endometriosis is when the tissue from the uterus lining starts to grow on the outside of the uterus. And many women don't know that unless they have those really bad pains and symptoms where they have to go get a pap smear or a pelvic exam.
Right, of course. And as of right now, there's like really not much to do in terms of diagnosis besides laparoscopic excision surgery. So you kind of have to go in full force to get the diagnosis. And there isn't a cure at the moment. So I'm hoping that with all this raising awareness and talking about it more amongst ourselves and in the medical community, we can, you know, decrease the time it takes to get diagnosed and have a clear guideline and trajectory to getting a cure.
Hey, you were talking about treatment. Have doctors ever told you about taking birth control pills to prevent you from ovulating? So you take your pills and then you skip the sugar pills so you don't ovulate to reduce the cramping?
Yes, that was one of the first things I actually was told to do when I was like 15, 16, first experiencing pain. But the problem with birth control and using that as a cure for endometriosis is that it doesn't address the root issue. It's kind of just a mask. And it helps with some things hormonally, but again, it doesn't address the full root cause and kind of prolongs the symptoms, and they kind of build on top of each other. Yeah,
and according to medical reports, they say that women get it when they first start their period, some, and then it usually goes away when you're during menopause. So what are some challenges that you have? Because you were telling me that you want to be a mom one day and you're worried that this is going to prevent pregnancy.
Yes, I definitely am not looking into having kids anytime soon, but in the future I'd love to be a mom and have kids. I think that's one of the most unfortunate and frustrating aspects of dealing with endometriosis is a future that you kind of grieve and a past that you also kind of have to grieve as well. Not knowing what the future is going to look like, not knowing if you are going to be able to have kids, and navigating all of this, you know, within your body and within such limited research.
Have doctors told you to freeze your eggs to kind of make sure that you have those healthy eggs when you do want to be a mom one day? Yes,
I'm probably going to end up doing that within the next year just to, you know, be safe. Why not?
You're pretty amazing sharing your story. I know it's so personal for you. What advice do you have for young women who maybe have anxiety to go to the doctor to go get a pap smear because they're very uncomfortable?
Yeah, it's invasive.
Yeah. What advice do you have for them to kind of to go, because you never know if you have endometriosis, HPV, or cervical cancer?
I'd say it's normal to be nervous. You know, everyone kind of experiences that initial nerve anxiety situation, but it's so important, you know, to take care of yourself and for your future self. I think that it's important to advocate for yourself and to raise your voice and share your story.
All right, so many will be gathering tomorrow at NTC Park at Liberty Stations at 9 o'clock. And what I love about it, it's free.
It is. It is.
You don't have to love free stuff. Yeah, you don't have to sign up. You're going to have like, music, food, and everyone will be gathering just to bring awareness for endometriosis as well.
I'm super excited. So people can look on my website. You can sign up if you want. It's not mandatory, just to kind of get a head count.
And it's Raise Your Vibe.
Yep.
All right.
So I'm very excited.
And of course people could donate too, because you're saying that the proceeds could go towards Endo Fund?
Yes, the Endo Foundation of America. That would be ideal.
All right. Well, Rachel, good luck tomorrow. We'll have the information at KUSI.com, or you can visit Rachel's website, Raise Your Vibe. Thank you. Logan.
All right, Teresa, Rachel, thanks. Interesting discussion, guys. Appreciate that. So there is a new document